Good morning. Blessings of the day to each and every one of you. Thank you so much to every one of you that's visited my channel, watched my video. I am very appreciative of it. Thank you. That first video I put down, I wasn't feeling too good at all, but it's just a good feeling that I should have done something. It was my very first video, very first YouTube video. I am welcome to Living by Faith. I am saying living by faith because this is what my life story have been about for many years now. So with that said, I believe I can't do much right now throughout my home, and so I think I'm gonna give a testimony today in this particular video. I have two children, a son, daughter. My daughter is now 26. My son is now 18. So, yes. Anyway, in the year 2010, I believe it was. In the year 2010. My daughter was 12. She went to school. And about 2 hours after she left, I got a call from the school to come pick her up because she have a migraine. So I'm like, just send her home. She can take the bus. She can come back, because that's what she did to get to the school. She took the bus and she went to school. Yes, she did. So with that said, they said, no, we cannot just leave her and let her leave the school on her own. She's a minor. You have to come get her. So I'm like, okay, all right, I'll be there as soon as possible. Took my time, got a shower because it was really early in the morning, and got dressed and went to the school. Upon arriving in the school, I asked for her. She was in the nurse's office, laying on this little bed in the office. So I went in and I hugged her and I tell her what's going on. She told me, Mommy, my head is hurting me. And I was like, okay, all right. I said to her, come on, let's go. But she was struggling to get up. At that point, I have no idea what's going on. I'm thinking it's just a migraine, right? Okay, so I went ahead and I hold her, help her get off the little bed. When she stood up, my daughter, she almost fell to the floor. So I held her. When I held her, I realized that she was dragging her right foot. So I'm saying to her, baby, put your foot up and walk. She's like, Mommy, I cannot. So I'm like, okay. I put her hand around my neck, and she is solely relying on me for strength. But the thing about it is that my daughter, this young lady, was born 10 pounds, 9 ounces. Yes. Nope, I didn't give birth to her. It was a C-section. And she was not fat. She was just... I'm considering myself to be someone that was not... I'm not a big and tall person. Now I have weight on. But back then, I was literally about a size 8 or so. And my daughter, she, at that time, she's 12, but she's the same height with me. Yeah. So I'm literally feeling like I'm being destroyed by her, but I have no choice. So here we go. We are going to go and get the bus. No, I don't drive and I don't have a vehicle. This is Brooklyn, New York we're talking about, and transit. Yes, that's what we take. So got on the bus. While we're getting on the bus, I said to her, an allez à l'hôpital là, parce que ou pas qu'à mort en le compte moi jodi a. For those of you who understand Creole, you know what that means. And for those of you who don't, I literally said to her, we are going straight to the ER because you're not going to be dying on my account today. We're going straight to the ER. However, I had to make a stop at home to get her insurance card because, I came and picked her up thinking that we were just going to go back home. Didn't realize that the migraine was so bad and it had that kind of effect on her. So, with that said, I went ahead, stopped home to get her insurance card and everything else that I needed. And while I was there, she started vomiting. And she said to me, Mommy, what did I eat that was orange this morning? I said, baby, you didn't eat breakfast here today. So if you had anything, it was in the school. So she said, well, I didn't eat anything in breakfast today. I was like, really? She said, my head was hurting me. I was like, okay, baby. So we left anyway. We went to the ER, Downstate University Hospital in Brooklyn, New York. And when we got there, I told them what was wrong. They took us in. And then I saw 2 doctors starting to have her make different signs, like touch your nose with your finger and all of the things they're asking her to do. But when she have to touch her nose with her finger doesn't go straight to her nose, it goes to the side. And after that happened, after they test her by asking her to do all kind of stuff, walk in a straight line on the floor, she basically can't do any of the things they're asking her to do right. So at first there was 2 doctors asking her to do that, and then 3 doctors came. Exactly what the first 2 was asking her to do, the other 3 is asking her to do the exact same thing. The results are the same. And then another 3 came asking her to do the exact same thing. At this moment, right there, and then I knew something was seriously wrong with my daughter. I closed my eye because I was sitting on a chair in the room with her while the doctors were still there talking. I'm talking to God and I'm saying to him, my exact words were, I need absolutely no part of this situation. I want nothing to do with it. You're her father. You know all things. You do all things. I need for you to take control of this entire situation because it is way out of my league. And so it continued. Another 2 doctors came down last. So we are talking about many doctors in the room with my daughter at that point. And then one of them came out and they said, she needs a CT scan. A nurse answered, well, the machine is in progress and is busy right now. And the doctor said, whomever is in there, I need them out. Clear it. I need her to be in there right now. And the doctors just scatter and everybody running from different directions. Everybody is running. They took her to the room. One of the things I cannot remember whether I went in with her or not. I can't remember that part of it. Anyway, she came back. And when she came back, the doctors explained to me the severity of the situation. They said she has an AVM. Literally just means a bleed in the brain. She was hemorrhaging in her brain. I said, okay. And they explained to me that in situations like these, my daughter or anybody else have to go straight to the ER. No, the OR. Yeah. Because we were already in the emergency room. So she had to go to the OR immediately, to the operating room, because she needed immediate surgery. Okay. I said, okay. And then that's not a problem. And then he said, well, the thing about it is that we can't go because her brain is also swollen. And with her brain being swollen, we cannot operate until the swelling goes down. I was like, okay, so we have to wait for the swelling to go down and then we can operate. And I said, how long is that going to take? And they said, well, we have no idea. We're playing it by time and going to continue to monitor her because the swelling needs to go down. She definitely needs surgery. I was like, okay. So, yeah, just like that. You see, exactly how I am right now, cool and quiet. That's exactly how I was. So they find it was strange. The doctor said to me, ma'am, do you understand anything that I'm saying to you? I said, yes, I do. Are you sure? Yes, I do. I answered, why? He said, but you so calm and quiet. Are you sure you understood everything I explained to you? I said, yes, I do. Yes, I do. I do understand. With that said, took a little while, but they transferred her to a room in the NICU upstairs. And that's where we spend time all the time. The day after, it was the same. She didn't look like somebody with a problem. Somebody that was hemorrhaging in the brain because she was conscious the entire time. She was talking. At that point in time, they were giving her medicine for the migraine. So her head was not hurting as much. And she could eat. She could drink. She would talk. She would laugh. All of the things. She was doing all of the things. And in my mind, I have no care in the world because I asked God to take it. Take it and do what you will with it. Then I said, Lord Jesus, if it is your will that my daughter, it's time for her to be with you, that's fine with me. But if it is your will that she spend more time with me, there would nothing I would love more than that. And I would greatly appreciate it. When I said those words, my friends, it was like boom, a flash, literally a picture, but it was not a picture. It was like, how would I describe that? It was a funeral. It was a funeral. When I said those words, it just hit. It's almost like you bang your head on the wall and you have a blackout for a second. That's what I should say. And I saw my daughter. She was laying in an ivory casket. She had this beautiful overlace lilac dress on her. She was laying in that casket like a dead person would, her hand stretched out on her tummy, put together, holding a bouquet of flowers that was lilac and ivory. She was looking so beautiful in that casket. And as it came, that flash, as soon as it hit, I said, okay. If it is your will, then it is your will. And I let it go. As soon as it came, the same way it disappeared. I stayed with my daughter. Family members, call everybody. So I live in New York, but her dad is in St. Lucia. And so that's where I'm from. I am from St. Lucia, the beautiful, beautiful island of St. Lucia. That is where I am from. Called him, let him know what's going on, everybody. And so everybody's going crazy, my sisters. family members. Everybody's screaming, everybody's crying. The one thing that I was not doing at the time, I can tell you that for sure, I was not crying. Please don't ask me why wasn't I crying. Didn't I love my daughter? Yes, I love my daughter. There is not a person in the world that loves my daughter more than I do. That child was needed and wanted by me more than I can even explain to you guys. But with all that said, she went into surgery 2 days later after. The swelling was not down, but the surgery she was having was about a 2.5 hour surgery, minor. So they were going to go in through by her groin with this fine little tube thing to bring it all the way up to her brain, which has something like a needle in the end, to touch a particular nerve or something. One of the surgeons explained to me, because he was not the neurosurgeon, he was just another surgeon doing something. Minor surgery. Anyway, with that said, he said to me, Miss Mitchell, I said to him, and you need me to tell you what to do. I said, well, the only thing I can tell you, if something is telling you do not tamper, do not tamper. He said to me, are you kidding me? This is your daughter's life we are talking about. And so I said, okay, I know. But if something is telling you do not tamper, I told you I was sending my God in with my daughter. And if he's the one telling you do not tamper, do not tamper. He said, so what now? Just close her up? I said, close her up. And he said, okay. Believe it or not, he went ahead, he closed my daughter up, he didn't do anything else. They brought her back to the NICU. She stayed overnight, she was fine. The following day, they went in for the CT scan again, and afterwards they were checking for the bleed in the brain. And do you know, the bleeding in the brain had stopped on its own. And then now, they're going to start getting things together to have surgery, because if the bleed stop, the brain is automatically gone. She's not out of harm's way. She's not out of harm's way. But it gives a little room for the swelling to calm down. And that's exactly what happened. My daughter went and had surgery 2 days after the bleeding had completely stopped. They got everything together, and the neurosurgeon said to me, when it was time for her to go in, the neurosurgeon said to me that we are taking her in, Miss Mitchell. Most likely she's not coming back out. He said that to me. He looked at me and said that to me. Don't ask me why I didn't fall apart by someone telling me that my daughter is not going to come back out of a surgery room. Don't ask me why I was not screaming. Don't ask me why I was not fearful, because to be honest with you, I was not fearful. While all of that is going on, and they're in the room and they're prepping my daughter, there was this little girl, 8 years old. I can never forget this child. She was on a bed next to my daughter, and she had been in this coma-like situation with lupus. This child had tubes all over her body. All over her body. My heart broke. Her grandma was the one there at the time. I thought it was a mom, but it was her grandma. And then I called her and I asked her what happened to this little girl. And she said to me that she is in a coma with lupus and it's about 5 days now. And I was like, wow. I said, are you a mom? She said, no. She said, I'm her grandmother. I said, where's her mom? She said that her mom went home to change, to shower and all of that, and she is standing in right now. I said, well, I'm going to pray for you. But I said, do you believe in God? And she said, yes. I said, okay, I'm going to pray with you on behalf of this little girl, your granddaughter. You need to stand in the gap for her. I'm going to pray with you. I prayed with her. But while I was praying, I realized certain things that was coming out of my mouth in this prayer was more than me. What I was saying was like, it's not like it was out of my league, but the manner in which I prayed, God himself was allowing me to open my mouth and say what I was saying. And then immediately after I finished praying for her, I tell her, God bless you, and I will see you later. And I head down to the waiting room to wait for my daughter. My daughter's surgery at that point in time, what I knew was supposed to last for 6.5 hours. They took her down. I am in the waiting room. I'm waiting upon somebody to come out and tell me something. Somebody to come out and tell me something. I didn't see anybody. Nobody never came out at no point in time to say anything to me, guys. And I'm just there. And your will be done, Lord. I was not as worried as pacing or anything. I was just sitting there. I'm not chilling and happy, no. But I was just sitting there, waiting for my child to come out of surgery, because you will not tell me that my child will not come out of surgery. One of the things that I strongly believe in life, doctors do not have the last say so. God is the one that gives life. God is the one that takes life. His will be done. 10 hours later, my daughter came out of this operating room. And when she came out of this operating room 10 hours later, we went upstairs, stayed with her, all of the things. But the following day, she was there, and they asked that they stop all her medication. They stop all her medication. They asked that she stop all her medication. So my son's father at the time was there, holding on for me. And I went home to shower and to whatever and to come back for a minute. It took me less than 2 hours because we were not living that far from the hospital. Anyway, upon my coming back, exiting the elevator, I am hearing this agonizing scream coming. At that time, I did not know it was my daughter. When I got to the room, I realized it was her. And the elevator is not right next to the room. It's way, way, way down. So she's going through all of this pain. And when I asked what's going on, well, we stopped all her medication because what? She just had surgery yesterday, guys. Why would you all take her medication away from her? Well, the neurosurgeon doesn't understand why your daughter is alive. He doesn't understand why she's still alive, because he have no answers for that. So to test and to run blood tests, they need to remove all the medication from her system to run blood work that will give them some answers. I said, okay, that's fine. My daughter suffered miserably. The next day, I was going to head out to church. Yes, throughout everything, all the time she spent in the hospital, I was going to head out to church. I don't stay the whole day, but I would just go for a few hours. It's almost like your vehicle is running out of gas and you need to stop by the gas station to get a little something to put in there for you to continue your journey. I went. But before I left, I forgot a part about coming upstairs concerning the little girl that was next to my daughter that I prayed for. When I came upstairs, the first thing I saw, this little girl was around walking. She was walking with one IV in her arm, pushing the IV stand, and she was walking around, and her grandmother just ran and hugged me and said, thank you so much. I'm like, not me, you got it wrong. Give God the praise, honey. Give God the praise, and don't forget what he have done for you. Don't forget what he have done for your granddaughter or your family. Don't forget. Talk about his goodness in the land of the living. He's alive and well. And with that said, I was about to go to church the following day, like I said, and I called my daughter and I said to her, "Baby, do you believe in God?" She said, "Yes, mommy." I said, "Are you sure?" "Yes, mommy." I said, "Because if you don't, let me know." She said, "Mommy, I believe in God." But she's in pain, guys. A lot of pain. You could hear it in her voice. Breaks my heart to hear she was in so much pain. And then I said to her, "Well, I'm going to pray for you and then I'm going to go to church. Because if there is one thing I believe, the God that took you through surgery, the same God that took you through surgery, have you in a place where doctors cannot understand why you were alive, compared to the surgery. Pain is minor, and if he get you through the surgery, he can take your pain away without pain medication." I prayed for her. I left my daughter crying on a bed, and I went to church. Went to church for about, I would say, for 3-4 hours. When I came back to the hospital, she was sitting, she was talking, and she was laughing. And, well, I asked what's up, and she said, "Mommy, I'm okay." And I said, "You okay, baby?" "Yes." And the nurses came to me, the doctors came to me, and they said, "Well, we have a problem." And I'm like, "What's the problem?" "Well, ma'am, the other problem is that from morning we've been asking your daughter what is her level of pain from 0 to 10. And she's been saying she don't have any pain, it's 0. She don't feel anything." So I said, "Well, God's will be done." I said, the same God that took my daughter through surgery, he was her surgeon. And the same God that took away her pain, those of us that don't believe in God, I am not here to force God down your throat, to make you believe what you don't believe in, to make you think. It is up to you to make decisions when it comes to your daughters, your children, your spirituality, your life. I can tell you one thing though. Back then, when this situation happened, I was like, when everything turned out good, not at once, because remember in the beginning, my daughter's entire right side was dead. She uses her right hand to write schoolwork and all of that. Then she couldn't use her right side at all. It was completely dead. It was so dead, it was black. So she was supposed to do physical therapy to get her back on track, to get her using her hand, her leg and stuff like that. Things did not work out. And every time I went, it was one story after the other. And I bought a little exercising ball for her to hold in that right hand and to just squeeze. This is the only thing I bought for my daughter, I remember. And I said to her again, if God can get you through surgery, he can take away your pain. He definitely can get your body parts working like it used to when he first created you. And we left it at that. Every day I would make sure she squeezed this little ball in her hand. Of course, no exercise for her feet at all, but she would just try to be walking. At first, she had homeschooling. This teacher would come to her home and, you know, all of the things. And then, yeah, my daughter, while she couldn't use her right hand, she was using her left hand to start writing. And then, guys, now she can write with both her right and her left hand. She is 26 years old now. Like I said, she was 12 at the time. And every time we go to Downstate University Hospital, people don't know her. They will not remember her face. But they always say, "Oh my God, it's you. Oh my God, it's you." I'm like, "You know her from somewhere." "Well, I don't know her, but I know of her." I'm like, "Why? She's not supposed to be alive. She's supposed to be dead." At the time my daughter went to the hospital, I found out that some friends, some people, church people, whomever, was calling me and letting me know, "You should take her to Manhattan. There are better doctors in Manhattan." And there are this, advising. And I said to them, well, there is a reason why God allowed for me to walk into this particular hospital today. It could have been any other, because there was Kings County Hospital right across the street. Those of us that know, we know. So there are other hospitals, but this is the hospital we came to. And I believe there was a reason. Later on, when my daughter was supposed to go in for her checkup, she went for her checkup. She saw that surgeon, that neurosurgeon, once after surgery. After that, when we went and we asked for him, he had already moved out of state. He was no longer living in the state of New York. And the other thing that I do know at the time, he was the best surgeon there was in the state of New York. Not just the surgeon, but the neurosurgeon there was in the state of New York. His name is Dr. Ethan Benedetti. And Dr. Ethan Benedetti, if you are watching this at any point in time in your life, you come across this video, my name is Celine Mitchell. My daughter's name is Princess Alexander. She grew up to be a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful young lady. And I thank you that God used your hand to be able to work through my daughter. And today, she is still in the land of the living. Guys, the Bible says, trust in the Lord with all your might and lean not unto your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. If there is one thing you'll learn about me on my channel, I dream God. I live God. I believe in him with everything in my body. You will not be able to tell me anything else about God. Bad things happen in life. People is going to question why this and why that. Why not this and why not that? However, one of the things that I do know is that we belong to God, in spite of the fact that we think that we can manifest things into our life. The only reason why my daughter is alive today, because it was in the plan and the will of God for her life before she was even formed in my womb. That time would have come. The reason for my daughter's AVM is because they said that she was born with a disability in her brain. Some nerves and veins was connected together. So while she grew, it stretched along with her body, and it grew and it grew and it grew until it just popped. Now the thing about it is that they said if this is something they had any knowledge of, they would have been checking up on her and preparing for it. But since they didn't know she had that in her. They really didn't know. And I must say that my daughter came up from St. Lucia 1 year, exactly 1 year before the situation arises, and she was in New York. All things work together for good to them that love the Lord. This is my life. There is so many more testimonies I have to give, but my channel is going to be about small DIYs, cleaning. It's not a channel that is based on particular thing. This particular vlog, it is a vlogging channel where I will vlog as much as I can on my daily life, what I go through, living with chronic pain, living with the fact that I can stand too long, living with the fact that I'm always laying down on my back, living with the fact that I am still responsible for having my 18-year-old son. He's in high school right now, living for the fact that I have to clean, I have to cook, I have to do all of those things. So you're gonna get a little bit of everything. Maybe sometime when I'm comfortable with the camera, I might even bring you all grocery shopping with me, which I don't do often. I always order and Instacart, but sometimes there's a little grocery shop out there that I go to if I come from a doctor's appointment or something and I'm getting out and I need a few things, then I stop there to get it. Yes. My home right now, I just moved there as of July 20th. It was a year since I've been living here. This is another testimony altogether, where I was, what I did. This is another testimony altogether for another time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for your support, each and every one of you. I pray that God bless you all with the blessings of the day that he have in store for each and every one of you. Please don't forget to like, please comment, subscribe, share, whatever you feel like doing. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll be happy to answer. Blessings, blessings, blessings to one and all.